Samsung brought back the A50 lineup to the US, and I am super happy that they did. They skipped the Galaxy A55 and went with the S24 FE that was kind of meant to replace it. But I'm happy that Samsung went ahead and brought back the 50 lineup, starting with this Galaxy A56, because for $499 it is a really good phone, and I've been using it for the past week. And using for the past week, I made sure that, like, okay, I know this phone is $499, so I kind of have to use it accordingly. And I can tell you, for what you pay for, you are getting a good phone, especially starting things off with design. So while this does look strikingly similar to the Galaxy A36, which is $399, it does feel more premium in the hand, and that's because it has an aluminum frame rather than a plastic frame. It has a solid build quality and a sleek design, and it's reminiscent of more expensive devices like the Galaxy S25 and its older brothers. Now the buttons also do feel really responsive and clicky, which I do like, and it does have this like aesthetic and ergonomic design that actually doesn't scream budget, but has more of a premium mid-range, like flagship design, at least when you talk about like the build quality. Now obviously looking at the back, it does look, again, like I said, the Galaxy A36, and this is a fingerprint magnet one, and it attracts so much, like you can see reflections really easily. So like you can see my camera right here, the Sony A7 Mark III, and then the displays are, or the display is great. So it's Gorilla Glass Victus Plus, I believe, on the front and back, but this 6.7-inch Full HD AMOLED display is awesome, 120 hertz, so that's obviously a huge plus. And I mean, at that price point, if you didn't have 120 hertz, especially in 2025, that would be pretty rough. Display is not, it's not symmetrical, but that's okay, and it's been pretty responsive, so I do like it. It does get plenty bright outdoors. It's not like 2,600 nits. I think it peaks out at like 1,900, which is still pretty good, but it's not going to be flagship, and that's to be expected. But overall, I really do like this design, and mainly this aluminum frame, which does feel more premium. And I gotta find like a really good case or a skin for this bag, because I really don't like it. That's like the one thing I don't like about this design. Now the software and the performance, how has it held? And for those of you who do see, like when I'm on the lock screen, it says emergency calls only. I am testing like so many phones right now. I got the Z Fold 7, I have the Z Flip 7, so I had to put my SIM back in here because I'm also going to talk about this in another video. And I'm constantly switching back and forth, but I did essentially like mirror my setup on the Z Flip 7 with the A56 and the Fold 7, and in a couple weeks the Pixels are coming out, so it's like I'm kind of all over the place, but the software and the performance on this has been really great. Obviously with Samsung, you know, you get One UI. This one has One UI 7, so it's Android 15. We don't have One UI 8, but we are expecting about like 6-ish years of software updates, which is really good for a mid-range device. And One UI 7 was like the design overhaul, and One UI 8 is bringing like those smaller upgrades. And like, let's say like when we go into the weather, for example, like this is the One UI 7 weather. You're not getting that new update with like design here and things like that. So I hope we get One UI 8 fairly soon, but as of right now, we don't. Nonetheless, it still feels really clean, responsive, and I like One UI 7. It feels modern. Now the Exynos chipset inside the A56, which is the 1580, performs surprisingly well, and it's smooth for everyday tasks. As you can see, like here are my everyday apps that I use, from settings to my YouTube, to the Tesla app, YouTube Studio, and then I have right here like Google Chrome, my Gmail, messaging, calling, using it for camera, and then obviously I have, you know, WhatsApp, I have X, Threads, TikTok, Flip, my collector app to track like my Pokemon card collection as well. I have some Yu-Gi-Oh cards as well, and then play games like Clash of Clans, which has been actually pretty decent. I haven't really noticed any stutters or lags when playing Clash of Clans. Call of Duty was a different situation. It does slow down just a tad bit, but it doesn't really hinder the actual usage, like the actual gaming. And guys, please don't judge me on like my level 9 Town Hall. Like, you know, I'm going at a little slower pace than others would, but you know, I'm still enjoying the game nonetheless. I'm trying to keep up as much as I can, and I'm using this, like I'm testing this on the Fold, I'm testing this on the Flip with like its cover display, but it has been fairly good. So if you are going to be gaming, just like Clash of Clans and, you know, maybe Pokemon Go here and there, if you aren't going to be having those heavy intensive games on here, I think it'll be pretty good. And again, like for social media content consumption, this is going to be a really good phone. Call reception has been great. I have Mint Mobile, and well, I have two lines, and my T-Mobile line is on my iPhone, which usually stays on my iPhone, but my main SIM, which usually goes in Android devices, right now it's in the Flip, and I'm switching back and forth with the A56. It is Mint Mobile, and it's been great. So I guess that also does rely on the carrier you use. So if you use Verizon or AT&T, it may vary. But for me, internet speeds, you know, with 5G speeds and calling has been great. You know, it's been smooth and clear, so no issues on that side. So I think overall performance is pretty good for a mid-range device, especially it's the fact that it's running a Exynos chipset. I haven't had great experiences with the Galaxy A52 and the A53. So having, when I got this device and I opened it up and, you know, I set it up and finished my unboxing video, I'm like, all right, I really do hope we get decent performance on this, because if we don't, it's going to be like the same repetitive video as past years. So, you know, Samsung caught me off guard, and it's been pretty good, buttery smooth. Now, obviously, with my settings, I go into the I make sure developer options is turned on, and I will go all the way down. This is pretty much for all my devices. I'll go all the way down and make sure my window transition and my animator scales are at 0.5 rather than 1, so it also does help with the phone feeling smoother. But overall, if you're just looking to, you know, pick up this phone for occasional texting, calling, watching YouTube videos, you're not going to have any problems whatsoever. Now the camera is great. Well, the cameras, it's got a triple camera setup, so it's got a wide, ultra wide, and a macro. And I'll tell you this, the results are good. I kind of wish, you know, instead of a macro, it was a telephoto, but maybe that's for, you know, price costs and to bring, you know, the costs down. I kind of get it, but I don't really see a need for a macro, at least in my use case. Maybe some might use it. I never did, but the results are good. You know, they're Samsung. They're really punchy and vibrant photos. And if this is your only device and you want to start making content, honestly, I think this applies to pretty much every phone, but it's a great phone to start making content. Like, you don't need to go ahead and pick up a Sony camera to start making content. You don't need to pick up a Galaxy S25 Ultra. If this is what you got, this is what you got to start with. I started with an LG G3 back in 2014. You know, at that time, we only had like one camera lens on phones, and now we have like triple camera setups. We got so much more camera versatility. The camera image processing software especially has improved well over in the past 11, 12 years. So it definitely does mean a lot, but nonetheless, like, the cameras are good. Don't expect anything like 100x zoom or 200 megapixel camera results or anything like that. But for $499, I think it does fairly well. Now, I don't have the Pixel 9a anymore, but I did put the photos side by side, like on my computer, and I like the Pixel 9a photos much better. Pixel, for me, you know, Pixel photos have never let me down, and it's just a personal preference. I prefer Pixel photos most times when compared to other devices. But again, overall, it's been really good camera performance for the price point. The battery life has been phenomenal, and that's something I was expecting. Excellent battery performance with a 5,000 milliamp hour battery, 45 watts of charging. Fine, like, we get this on here, but we don't get it on the Z Flip or the Z Fold. Like, come on. But nonetheless, it has been great. I've got in easily a day, easily pushing 6-7 hours of screen on time, and depending on my usage, I can go 2 days. In the past week, I went into the second day with the Galaxy A56. I'm so used to saying A55 because I had it. I actually went and bought the Latin American variant, but I went to the second day still having some charge, and then towards like mid-afternoon, I needed to charge it. But it has been great, and the standby time has been very good, losing about like 2 to 3% overnight. But it's one of the standout features, if you ask me, of this device is it's going to be the battery. And then for the pricing, I think it's a great value for the money, $499. Now, I'll tell you this device will go on sale, so you'll find it lower than $499 in maybe like the next month to 2 months. And if you want to wait until then great. Like, you'll get even a better value, or you get a better, better bang for your buck. I'll put it that way. And overall, this device, I think it offers a premium design. It has pretty good performance, surprisingly. I haven't had the greatest, history with performance with Exynos chipsets. It has pretty capable cameras, again, for the price point, and a superb, battery life, along with really fast wired charging at a good price. And I don't think Samsung really made compromises here. Obviously, well, here's the thing. You have to make compromise for mid-range, but for this device, I think it's more like a smart, well-rounded buy. It's a great phone, and honestly, if $499 is your budget and you want to stick with Samsung, this is going to be a really, really good phone for you. I remember when I was working as a mobile consultant at Best Buy, a lot of the devices, especially Samsung devices we sold, was the A50 lineup. And that was really, we sold those more than the Galaxy S10 lineup back in 2019. So that does say a lot. A lot of people are in this, in this price range. They are really focused on getting a pretty decent smartphone for their, $499, for $500, or for $400. And this device really does suffice. But I hope you guys did enjoy this video. I'm going to keep, continue to use this device. If you guys have any other questions, let me know in the comments down below. But if you did, definitely be sure to smash that like button, comment down below, and best of all, share this video, because it really does help out the channel out a lot. It will help push my content out to more people. Definitely be sure to check out my latest wallpaper pack. This one right here, it is called Color Blast. I'll be leaving links in the description down below, because it really does go a long way in helping out the channel. That's been it for me, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.